Hi everyone. Many thanks for joining us today. We'll be having a webinar with the University of West London, and with me here I have Nick Miller, who will
That's
be
okay.
who will be speaking to us about everything we need to know about University of webinar, the application process, the requirements, and if you have any questions after this, please kindly drop them in the chat box below, and I'll be handing over to Nick to tell us everything we need to know today. Hi Nick, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine, Gloria. Yes, good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining the webinar this morning, and thank you to SIUK for hosting it. SIUK are one of our key partners around the world, and we've been working very closely with the SIUK officers in Nigeria. So I strongly encourage you to work closely with them because they can provide lots of free advice and information, not just on our university, but general study in the UK and other destinations. Okay, so I'm going to commence by sharing my screen. Let me know if you can all see that. Okay. Can you see my presentation, Gloria? Just to check. Hopefully you can.
No, not
Yes, I
yet,
can.
Nick.
Yes, I can, Nick.
You can. Great. Wonderful.
Nick, okay, yeah, I can.
Can you see the screen, Kemisola?
It's coming up. It's coming
Yeah, it's
up.
coming up. Brilliant.
Yes,
Okay, so
I
that
can
was
see it. Thank you.
yeah, so that was Kemisola. Maybe this is a good opportunity to introduce yourself, Kemi. Do you want to say who you are and what your involvement is with University of West London?
Yes, please. Thank you, everybody. My name is Kemi Sola, and nice to meet you, or nice to meet you, Gloria. All right, my name is Kemi Sola. I represent the University of West London in West Africa. So, any questions that has to do with that location, I'm going to take it after Nick's presentation. All right, and I'm going to leave my details as well in the chat box. Thank you.
That's right. Yes, I've already left my personal contact details in the chat box. So you're welcome to contact me, and also Kemisola is going to leave hers as well. Obviously, I get contacted quite a lot. So my advice would be to send me a WhatsApp message or email. That's probably the best way to get hold of me. Phone calls never work because I'm usually in a meeting or doing presentations like this. So yeah, we're always very responsive and happy to help. Okay, so I'll begin the presentation. So I'm the senior international officer at University of West London. So my area really is to look after sub-Saharan Africa and Southeast Asia. And so within that, we have recently set up a regional office in Nigeria with Kemisola at the helm. So what this does, it gives you a lot of support there locally here in the UK at the university on campus, but also over there in sunny Nigeria. Okay, so this is a picture of Kemisola and I, incidentally, on the right-hand side. I think this was at a fair last year with SIUK, or possibly one of the international schools that we visit. That's just to show you what we look like. So we work very closely as a team. And at University of London, we've got quite a good community of Nigerians there. So both represented in our staff and students. So currently we have around 100 Nigerian students with us at the moment, and there's a picture at the bottom there of Prince Will, who joined us in February, and he's one of our current student ambassadors, which I'll explain a bit more about later. And then we've got Bernadine. She's part of our biomedical science school. She's a keen advocate for Nigerian students. So, you know, the university staff is very multicultural. It's a very international setting. So students from all over the world are made to feel very welcome. So I just wanted to kick off really just by, talking about the elephant that's in the room, and that is the challenging conditions that we're all facing right now with the currency depreciation in Nigeria. As you can see, June 2023, just as President Tinubu was being inaugurated, it was 560 to the pound, and now we're looking at 2,000 to the pound. So the naira has lost value by about fourfold in less than 18 months. And it's a terrible shame, really, because it just makes studying abroad that bit more challenging to get the necessary funds. And also, I'd say, it's very tough right now, both in Nigeria and the UK. Inflation is affecting the whole world. Inflation in the UK is running at around 8 or 9%, whereas I'm aware in Nigeria it's over 30%. Which is quite incredible. So it makes it hard to save the money together to study abroad, and it makes it tough when you come to the UK for the overall living costs. And there's been some policy changes within the UK government, which has made it more challenging as well. So you're not allowed to bring dependents to the UK anymore. You can't bring your wife or spouse, husbands, children, unless you're studying on a PhD research degree, which is a great shame. And there's currently a threat to the graduate route visa, which is the ability to study for 2 years, study or work after 2 years in the UK to gain some experience before you return to Nigeria. The gentleman on the right-hand side, if anybody doesn't know who that is, that's the Right Honourable James Cleverly, who's the current Secretary of State. And he's actually, believe it or not, ironically, a University of West London graduate. So he's one of our alumni. But this year in the UK, we're going to go through a change of government. We have general elections happening, which is speculated to happen around October this year. So the policies that are in place now may not, continue come October. So what I'm saying to you is, don't be so downhearted. Try and keep an open mind, because what the situation here right now is not necessarily how it's going to be moving forward. So that's just a depressing image of the currency of the Nigerian naira and how it's depreciated. But what I would say, it could easily flip back the other way. So there's opportunities for coming to the UK. Obviously, the most important one is gaining international experience. Of all the Nigerian students I meet and interview, I'm always surprised that the majority have never ever traveled abroad before, which is a great shame. So, this is a great way to spread your wings, see new places, and explore the networking opportunities. I think when you study at a university, wherever it might be, you don't know who's going to be on your course. You don't know who's going to be your classmate or your housemate. And you don't know how they're going to influence your path in the future. So always remember that and hold on to that. And I think when you study in the UK, particularly University of West London, where we've undergone a massive transformation in terms of investment of our campus and facilities, you are accessing world-class facilities here. I've been to universities in Nigeria. I've seen University of Lagos, I've seen Unilag. I get a sense and a flavor of what it's like there. And I think the thing that strikes me is just the access to the world-class facilities that we offer, and just a comfortable study environment. And it's stress-free. There's no stress. We're career focused, so any investment that you make in your studies now, you're going to get payback in the future. I think that's really important to remember. So although it might be very challenging to afford this right now, further down the line, you're going to reap the rewards. And remember, you are investing in your future. You're not investing right now. And even myself, when I went to university, at a time when there was an economic downturn, there was a recession. So actually, the job market wasn't good. So the best place to be was actually in university, studying, preparing for when the economy picks up again and when there's more opportunities about. But being a student at University of West London, you are in London, which is a global city. There are global opportunities to be had there. So studying with us puts you in a great position to project yourself for a strong career ahead. So this is the main campus. This is what we call St. Mary's Road. It's been around for a long time. Initially, it was a school, then it became a college. It was famously the Ealing College of Art in the 1960s, which had a very strong reputation. And then we evolved into Thames Valley University, and then we rebranded as University of West London in the late 1990s, early 2000s. We have another campus as well, not far away. This is called Paragon House. It's essentially like an office building over 11 floors. But here we have a lot of courses in nursing, midwifery, healthcare, but also some of the business and accountancy courses are located in this building as well, which makes sense as it's in the heart of the business community in West London. So some of the courses are actually stretched over both of the campuses, and you will come to the main campus even if you're on the Paragon Building campus to access some of the facilities like the library and students' union. So the two campuses are very close together, 15 minutes apart, and where we're located, we're close to Heathrow Airport, and we're close to central London. The campus facilities are open 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, except for closure on Christmas Day and key holidays like that. So it just means you've got access to the facilities to do your work, prepare for assignments, presentations. It's really convenient in that respect. And between the two campuses, we have a shuttle bus to help you get there. It's hop on, hop off service. It also connects to the local tube underground station, which is called Ealing Broadway. And it only takes like 10 minutes to get between the two campuses, and it's free of charge. So the area Ealing, where the University of West London is located, it's more of a residential area in London, but there's fantastic facilities there, restaurants, cinemas, bars, cafes, so great opportunities for part-time employment during your studies and lots of leisure time. Where we're located is within 15 miles of our campus. We've got the top 300 companies in the world. So we work very closely with some of the top employers who come into campus and speak with our students, provide career opportunities, and talks about the job market. And this feeds into the courses that we offer, the modules that we offer. We want to be completely relevant to the job market so that students have relevant skills to meet the skills gaps in the job market. So this is what the campus looks like inside, clean, modern lines. This is the heart space, which is where the main cafeteria, a lot of the students' union, coffee shops are located, and you can see the library above there. Yeah, it's a very pleasant environment to be. It's a state-of-the-art building with very good environmental sustainability. We use solar panels and geothermal heating system. So we win various accolades for our green sensibility as a university. We've got lots of other facts and achievements. We're well known, and I think you'll find most modern universities in the UK are well known for providing student support. And ours in particular, we're very strong for our student satisfaction. They're very happy with their academic support and the student voice, the voice that they have on campus within the student community. Within the rankings, we're in the top third of UK universities, which is quite impressive, and we are climbing up the rankings rapidly year on year. We're also making headway in terms of our notoriety as a research university. So interestingly, we've had some really good PhD opportunities this year, fully funded PhDs with stipends of £15,000 to study with us. So we're really growing as a research centre. So if you're a PhD applicant, please talk to us. So in total, we've got 17,000 students, of which 18% are international. As I've already said, we've got about 190 Nigerians. It's quite diverse internationally. I find that we tend to see large numbers of international students from South Asian countries, but also we get a lot from the USA, China, particularly for our music programs. We're really big into music and the creative arts. We've got a strong business school too, which I'll talk about. We've got some really famous alumni within the music industry. If there are any musicians out there, the most famous is Freddie Mercury. A lot of this from the lead singer from Queen. The reason for this is because we own the London College of Music, which has been established for 130 years, which is the exam board that's used for practicing and taking examinations in musical instruments like piano, violin, etc. So other faculties to mention, we're big into health. So I find Nigerian students are very interested in our master's program in public health. Access to nursing programs is a bit more restricted for international students, but we do have some opportunities within health. Computer science, engineering, we're really big for things like AI, cybersecurity, computer software design. And then we've got a very big hospitality school, culinary arts, food business management, also airport management. We're very much aligned with the businesses at Heathrow Airport. So we're doing things like pilot training, event management, hospitality management. And then we have the business school, the Claude Littner Business School. So we have a range of MBAs, business programs at undergraduate and postgraduate level, with economics, entrepreneurship. As a university, we're very entrepreneurial, I find. We actually have our own business hub there. So we work with both students and the local community to support them with their business ideas, to bring them to a position where they can attract funding and we can launch products and services. So we've got a full support network for that. So if anybody has seen the BBC's Apprentice TV show, one of the pundits on that show is Claude Littner, who is a professor at our university, and he's very involved with our enterprise hub and our obviously our business school, which is named after him. And so some of the products we've launched a lot around the food industry. So we've had like vegan chocolate brands and snacks that you can buy in UK supermarkets. And these are all ideas, business ideas that have originated from University of West London. So in addition to studying, obviously you need somewhere to live. London is expensive. It's one of the most expensive cities in the world. So please be aware, we do have accommodation, but you're looking around a minimum of £800 per month and upwards. So if you do have friends, relatives, diaspora in the UK, I would certainly investigate other affordable accommodation options if you don't want ours. The great thing about taking our accommodation is that it's within 20 minutes travel time of the university, and there's no deposits to pay. You don't have any hassles or worries about bills for gas or electric. It's an inclusive price and you get 24-hour support, and the facilities are fantastic. There's a gym, there's a fully equipped gym on site of every accommodation, and you're mixing with other students as well. It's good from a social perspective, meeting and mixing with others. Aside from the accommodation services, we've got a support team helping you find part-time work, and obviously we have careers advisors supporting with your job opportunities after you're through with UWL. So we have the talent bank, the UWL talent bank, where you can register and access opportunities for work. So you're allowed to work in the UK for 20 hours a week to support your studies. And then for the present time, you're allowed to study in the UK for 2 years on the graduate route visa. So one of the good points about coming this year is if they do make changes to the graduate route visa, if you get in now, it's likely that you will benefit from the current policy of being allowed to stay for 2 years. No decision has been made as to whether they will reduce it to 1 year or scrap it entirely. I personally feel that it will not change, that they will keep that, because the UK wants to attract the brightest and the best students. Okay, tuition fees. This is the important part, and this is what you need to digest. Coming to the UK is expensive. It's a huge investment. But for London universities, ours is actually quite competitive. I would say it's below the average price. You know, we try to keep it that way purely because the living costs are so high. So we want to keep that balance of making it as affordable as other UK universities. So for September 2024 and beyond, you're looking at £16,250 for a UG, £17,250 for a postgraduate degree, like a master's degree, and then the MBA is slightly more expensive. We have something called the extended program. Now, an extended master's program is available for students who have a third-class degree where they don't meet the entry requirements and they just need a little bit more time. It's also used by students where English isn't their first language. So I find that Nigerian students tend to take this route if they've got a third-class degree, because you really need a second-class degree to get entry to direct entry to our master's degrees. Deposit. Now, this is a bit of a sticking point and a challenge, and I'll discuss about this in a bit of detail to help you understand why. So our deposit for Nigeria is £10,000. High-risk countries include Nigeria, Ghana, India, Pakistan, like the South Asia countries. So this is not our policy. This is UKVI. They kind of they see certain nationalities as being higher risk as students for sponsorship for visa. So we have to take extra precautions. So £10,000 is a lot. It's over half the tuition fee. But there's a good reason for that. You know, we don't want somebody just scraping by, getting the minimum amount of money together for a deposit. You know, there are universities out there that might accept as low as £3,000 deposit in order to get their visa. But you're just storing up problems because you don't want to be in the UK and run out of money, because it puts you in a position where you might have to get your visa revoked and you might have to return back to Nigeria. So we want assurances from you that you can afford to come here to the UK and study. And this is a security blanket for you and for us to ensure that you can afford the fees. So that £10,000 is a lot, and I'm sorry, but it's non-negotiable. Until we've received that £10,000 deposit, then we are unable to issue the CAS, which is the document that you require in order to apply for your visa. So think very carefully about the timeline. And not only that, you know, you need to provide evidence of maintenance funds. You need £12,006 to prove to the UK government that you can afford to be in London for the duration of an academic year. That's a lot of money. So that £10,000 is obviously not in addition to that. That's not in addition to your course fees. So you pay, say, for a postgraduate, £17,250. So you pay the £10,000 deposit, and that will leave you £7,250 remaining to pay, which can be paid in installments. So we are flexible. Once you arrive, you can pay it in portions, and we're quite flexible. It could be monthly. Ideally, most students will do it in 2 or 3 installments. But the maintenance funds is important. You need the £12,006. You have to prove that. And it's a good idea to include an additional £500 just to ensure there's no currency fluctuations during the visa application process. Things that you should consider, you know, when you apply, you can apply through SI UK. We have a portal on our website. You can upload your documents. If you are struggling to upload documents to meet our entry requirements, don't worry about it. Don't get frustrated. Just email them to myself or Kemisola, and we can upload them for you. And SI UK are on hand to give you support as well. But essentially, the documents that you need, you know, you're basically looking for passport, degree transcript, degree certificate. For English proficiency, we don't require IELTS, as long as you've got a WIAC certificate showing that you've got C6 in English. So to verify that WIAC certificate, we do need a WIAC scratch card. So please send one of those as well, or upload those to the portal. If you've got a NECO, that's fine. C5 would be accepted for English level. Just to repeat, we do not need IELTS. It's not essential as long as you've got the WIAC. Additional entry requirements, we need references. We need 2 references. These have to be on letterhead paper. They have to be signed and dated within 6 months. So they have to be recent. If they're not accepted, you know, we cannot offer you a place. So in addition to that, obviously we need passport copy. If it's a course that requires a portfolio or an audition, we need a separate, audition portfolio for that as well. But on the whole, that's the basics that you need. English proficiency, WIAC, degree certificate and transcript, 2 references, and a CV just to show your study and work history. Try and make it as comprehensive as possible. Our entry requirements, we're looking for the equivalent of A-level grades BBC for undergraduate. So as you know, in Nigeria, you do 12 years of education. So for undergraduate students, you need to complete a foundation year. So we offer an integrated foundation year at University of West London. So instead of the degree taking 3 years, it will just take you 4 years instead. That's not a problem. And if you're accessing postgraduate courses, we need obviously a 2nd-class degree, as I mentioned. We don't accept HNDs. So if you've got an HND and you're looking to do a master's or an MBA or something, I'm sorry, we can't accept you. You've got to top up elsewhere, either in Nigeria, or you could consider maybe doing like a pathway program in the UK with a private pathway provider. Things that we don't like in the admissions team is we don't like visa rejections. So please be honest with us. You know, we will find out. Our compliance team can get access to the UK VI and see all of your visa applications, your successes and your rejections. So don't hide anything. It's always good to be transparent. We don't really like study gaps. So if you finish your degree and you've not been doing very much for the last 5 or 6 years, it can be a problem. So make sure you provide a comprehensive CV. If you're doing any short courses, any continuing professional development in your workplace, upload certificates, go into as much detail as you can about that, because we can argue that that is recent evidence of study. We just don't want a situation that somebody's graduated 10, 15 years ago and they've forgotten how to write an assignment. You know, we want people who can hit the ground running when they arrive at the university. Yeah, so once you've got to you paid the deposit and you're ready to come, you've accepted your place. We conduct a pre-CAS credibility interview. It's like a short 20, 25 minute, well, I say 30 minutes, but it's about 25 minutes really. We interview you about your motivations for the coming to the UK. Please do research about the course and, modules on the course. We want to know that you understand what you're coming for. Please be aware that you could get pulled aside by the UK VI and interviewed independent of the university. So this is a preparation for you and help for us really to ensure that we are sponsoring the right person. It's nothing to worry about, but it's an important step. And finally, before we finish, I'll just show you a quick video showing you what the campus looks like. I'll show you the video now. I'll skip forward. And then when we've completed the video, then we're around to ask any of your questions, or if you don't feel confident to speak on the presentation, then put the questions in the chat. That's probably easiest. Okay, so enjoy the video and we'll talk in a couple of minutes.
Welcome to the University of West London. My name's Nicole and I'm going to give you a quick tour around the Ely campus. so you can get a better understanding why people like me love UWL. The Ealing campus is really well connected, and it's only 20 minutes from central London, but it's also a wonderful, leafy, green community. So you get all the benefits that London has to offer, whilst also enjoying the many open spaces in the area.
Hi everyone. Please, if you have a question, kindly drop them in the chat box below and I'll read them out to Nick. And if you want to ask Nick questions directly, you can do that also by raising your hands.
And your own well-being. You might never need help, but it's always good to know that it's there. But our support is not just for when you need help, it's for making the most of your time at university, so you can meet your full potential. Our study support team is here to help you work smarter, not just harder. They offer masterclass workshops, so you can build the skills to excel in your studies. And there's a reason why we're known as the Career University. We support our students in finding paid work and getting relevant work experience. Long before you graduate, our careers team will support you in preparing for the world of work and a rewarding and successful career. This is the Heart Space, the main hub of our Ealing campus. Here you can meet friends, attend events, and bump into people you know. It was created as a part of our £150 million transformation of the campus that has created an inspiring social and learning environment for students. Above me is the library named after Paul Hamlet, who believed that everyone should be given the support they need in order to reach their full potential. And that sums up what UWL is all about. The library is not just a part of our campus where a wide variety of books and other learning materials are. It's also an amazing learning space with access to hundreds of computers. Each floor is set up differently, so you can study in a way that suits you. So you can choose from collaborative study, quiet study, or silent study. The library is open 24 hours, 7 days a week, term time. And the library staff are incredibly knowledgeable and are always there to help you. The main teaching area is located just off the Heart Space. Across the campus, there's a whole variety of lecture theatres, seminar rooms, and specialist facilities to help you gain the skills employees need. Down the corridor, you can find our £250,000 flight simulator. That's so good, British Airways use it. Upstairs, you can find our new biomedical labs, green screen rooms, and music production suites. In fact, the whole campus is jam-packed full of amazing facilities, like our professional radio studios, mock courtroom, and a hospital simulation centre. Whatever you're planning to study, there are facilities to help you build your skills for a future career. At UWL, the students really do come first. The university takes pride in listening and responding to what students have to say. That's why UWL was voted University of the Year for Student Experience. The Student Union plays a big part in it. They help to create a sense of community, enabling students to socialise both within their course and across the university. With nearly 50 clubs and societies, you're bound to meet people with similar interests as you. And if you're into sports and keeping fit, our brand new on-campus sports centre includes 2 gyms, 2 large fitness studios, and spacious changing facilities. Many of our sports teams even have access to professional quality facilities. And our partnership with Premier League club Brentford FC provides an exciting connection to elite level sport. I hope you enjoyed that quick tour of UWL at our Ealing campus. If there's one thing I want you to take away from this tour, is that people at UWL care. They care about you, and they care about doing their best for you. And that makes all the difference. And it's why I love UWL. If you would like to find out more, sign up for an open day or connect with us.
Okay, thank you very much indeed for your time and your attention. I'll stop sharing my screen now and I'll come back to life. And we can open the floor for some questions, and myself and my colleague Kemisola can answer anything that you might have at the back of your mind that you're burning to ask.
Thank you so much, Nick. That was quite an interesting and interactive section. Please, if you have any questions for Nick, kindly ask in the chat box, or you could signify by raising your hand. If you want to ask questions about applications or anything.
I'm sorry, Gloria, would you ask that again? I didn't quite hear you.
If you have questions for Nick about applications, all the processes involved in studying at the University of West London, you can actually drop in the chat box or ask yourself.
I'll make one comment, actually. I get asked this quite a lot. A lot of students get frustrated about getting a response from a university for an offer, for an application. I would say that, we are extremely efficient at providing offers. Remember that we can turn around and provide an offer in 24 hours, provided the student has met all of the entry requirements and uploaded all of the necessary documents. So please don't just, don't sit there, apply and wait and wait and wait. You're welcome to contact us, and we can give you feedback, on your application, and we can tell you what's missing or what's not quite right. So don't waste time, because there is a limited time for you to apply, get your offer, pay the deposit, get the CAS, get your bank statements ready. So don't waste any time, apply as early as you can in the cycle. Anything you'd like to add, Kamsola?
Nick, not really. You've basically touched on everything. The only thing I just noticed is the 2 years gap for the UG applicant. We can actually consider for 3 years as well.
Yes, we can. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a case-by-case basis, basically. Look at it from the UK's point of view, the UK government. If somebody at the age of, an old man like me suddenly decides to do his first degree abroad, the UK government is going to say, why now? Why did you not do it after you finished school, like within a reasonable length of time? And I can, it just makes you look like suspicious. It's nothing against your age. It's nothing ageist about it. It's just, you've got to look at it from a logical point of view. Why would you want to do a degree now? Now, if you can justify it, say you've been doing your youth service, or you've been, you've been doing some voluntary work, or you've got some personal situation, as long as you explain it, then we look at it on a case-by-case basis, and we have offered places to students for UG with longer gaps than 3 years even. But normally, the other thing to mention is, if you've had a visa before, this came up for me recently, you only get up to a maximum of 5 years to complete your undergraduate degree in the UK. So if you've been to the UK before and started a course and moved on to another one, at the UG level, you've got to complete it within 5 years. Otherwise, you won't get sponsorship for a visa. But for postgraduate level, it's actually fine. You can take as long as you like. But I find most of the applications we get from Nigeria are master's students. The big selling point about coming to the UK is that a master's degree is more intensive. It only takes 1 year to complete. So the investment is more cost effective, unlike other countries where it takes 2 years. It's a much faster process for you to come out with that qualification and get into the job market. Okay, anything else?
Hi, Julia. Do you have any questions for Mr. Nick?
It's
Julia,
okay.
can you hear me?
It's okay. Maybe my presentation was too informative, and you've got everything.
Yeah, I think you literally covered everything.
Yeah. I would say another comment I'd say is, why the UK? I know that universities in other countries are attractive as well. Every destination has their attractive points, but purely from a visa perspective, the chances of getting a successful visa for studying in the UK, it seems to be a lot higher for the UK. I hear, students applying for Canada, US, Australia getting rejections. It seems to be more common. You know, we have had like one visa rejection at University of West London for our February intake out of 1,250 students. So our record is extremely clean in terms of sponsoring students. So if you get to the offer stage, you know that you've got a very, very extremely high chance of getting a visa successfully to study in the UK. So please don't let that be a determining factor. That's one of the good things. The process is quite clear cut and easy to follow.
Okay, hi Nick. There's a question here.
Okay, great. Wonderful. Finally.
So the person asking, finally.
Yeah,
Person asking, do the school run a MPhil program in public health, and what are the likely requirements?
Thank you, Abigail. You know, MPhil is something that we used to offer, and it's something that is currently being discussed. And we feel at the moment that it's a bit of a loophole for the dependent visa. So, you know, there are some universities I won't mention that are offering a lot of MPhil programs right now, just as a way of attracting students, just so that they can bring dependents. You know, we don't want to entertain that. You know, if we offer an MPhil, it's because we want to offer an MPhil. We don't want it as a way to circumnavigate the visa restrictions on dependents. You know, we want students to come to study at the university, to study, not as a migration route to the UK. But the reality is you come, you get a good degree, you get the experience, job opportunities are there. There are skills gaps in the UK. We have shortages of teachers, healthcare workers, computers, scientists. There are lots and lots of opportunities. And there are lots of companies that will sponsor international students. But it would be unethical of us as a university to suddenly offer a massive range of MPhil programs just so we can get people to come and bring their dependents. On the dependents rule, I mean, in its defense, I mean, the reality is, you know, we were getting students who were bringing husband or wife, sometimes 3, 4 kids, 5 kids. And, you know, that's fine. You know, everybody's entitled to have as big a family as they like, but it's quite a burden on the resources in the UK. So like accessing hospitals or accessing schools, the UK is struggling as it is for those, because we haven't invested as much as we should have done in our kind of infrastructure in terms of healthcare and over the past few years, and schools, etc. But also people were abusing it slightly as well, and you know, we don't want to be seen as a pathway to migration. You know, it's unethical as a university to do that. So what we want you to come and have a great experience, get a good degree, and get a return on the investment and get a career at the end of it. And that's as far as it goes. So thank you, Abigail, for that. We don't offer MPhils, but if we do, please speak with SIUK, and I'm sure they will let you know. Good. I can't think of anything else really to say. Just so I think I'll wind things down by saying, you know, the University of West London is a great opportunity if you want a degree that's career focused and is going to open doors for career opportunities. And I think it's fantastic networking opportunities. Being in London, this is where the global job opportunities are as well. I think we are still relatively quite competitive in terms of our course fees for what we're offering. We're offering high quality education. And I think as well, as I mentioned earlier in the presentation, things are tough right now, but it's not always going to be this way. Trust me, you know, I've been through different recessions over the years, and there's always light at the end of the tunnel. And you know, when you've gone through this next step, studied abroad, and come back and entered the job market, I think you're going to be in a really strong position to have a successful, fruitful career. So good luck, everybody, and you know, if you have any questions, if you want a one-to-one consultation with myself or Kemisola, you've got our contact details. It's in the chat. Just contact us directly, and we're more than happy to have a private discussion with you. Kemisola is based in Lagos, but she does travel to Abuja. We participate in the SI UK education fairs, which tend to happen in the spring and the autumn. So look out for those, register for those. Come and meet us and other UK universities. And that's what I would say is, before you decide, make an informed choice. You know, don't just come to us because we're based in London. You know, look at the course offering as well. You know, have a look at other institutions, and you know, I'm confident that what we're offering you is a tremendous quality education. And so please consider UWL. Thank you. Okay, that's all for me. Enjoy the rest of your day, and keep in touch. Bye for now.
Oh, hi, Nick. Oh, I'm so sorry. I guess I was kicked out